We're going to do a little video here. It's actually, I'm making this for my good buddy, but I figured other people might be interested in to see some things here from the recent gun show. Like 314299 just did a video about his local gun show finds that he picked up a bunch of stuff. It was pretty interesting, and we've got another show coming up in a week, and maybe I'll do a video after that one, but this was really more for my buddy. And I think I'll just give a brief overview, I guess, of the show, like the status of the gun show, and then I'll go into the things I got. I got a handful of things, but I'll show them here. And like, first off, the show was it was an excellent show, excellent attendance. The venue was full, like all the tables were full, so everything was good there. I got there a bit late, like an hour and a half into the show, which is actually good because the last time I was at a show, it was like you had to like shuffle through sideways because it was just shoulder to shoulder packed, like so tight in there. And this show, I found that there was a lot of really good things. Like this particular show, there was a lot of good things, and I'm wondering if it was just so busy last time that you couldn't really see anything, and so you missed a lot. But I found it way better this time, even going late. So the shows, I would say, are definitely coming back. They kind of dried up when they announced the second series of like gun control bans, and they made it tougher to buy just regular non-restricted firearms. Like, I'm in Canada, I'm not in the United States, for people who don't know. So that this whole video will be for Canadian content more, and not really anything to do with the States, just so people know. But when the second round of bans came in, like the handgun ban and everything, shows kind of just really died right off. But it looks like they've picked up, and I would say there's more people now than ever. And I did see people actually purchasing firearms at the show. So the verification and all that stuff, the shows have set up terminals and all different things to verify. So we've worked around that, just like we did when back in '97 when they came in with the registry, and people just kind of got on with it because they're sort of used to it by now. But it looks like things have picked back up already within, I guess I would say it was a span of a year that these changes have taken place, and now things are actually, they're busier than normal. Now, as far as pricing and things go, a lot of guns, like always, like I would say the normal amount of guns, but the prices were astronomical. Like, they were absolutely insane. Like, you might have found one guy who had like one table who was sort of a private guy, and he might have had a decent price on something, but the sellers are, I think they're jacking their prices up when they've always been high, and like they were crazy. But it seems like the collector pieces, like, I'll just give an example. There was a Finnish Mosin M39, and it was at $975 the price on it, which I think in Canada $975 is probably the going rate for that gun. If not, its exact value, or maybe even slightly cheaper, because they're highly sought after here. So that price is not actually high. And then when you see a Kui Model 60, just regular run-of-the-mill Model 60 for $400, you're like, that gun brand new in the box with the tag on it, I don't think should fetch like $400. Like, so it's kind of weird the way the pricing goes. It isn't like everything is jacked up, but there's I didn't see any deals to really be had. That's as far as the firearms go. The reloading stuff, it was astronomical. I've never seen prices. Everything, molds, bullets. Like, guy had one of those 30 caliber ammo cans, and he might have had 500 to maybe 1,000 bullets just laying in the bottom, and he wanted $300 for 30 caliber bullets. And then there was a box of, which I'm I've been looking for Magnum pistol primers, and guy had a 50 round box and he wanted $80 for it. Just absolutely ridiculous pricing on everything to do with reloading was crazy. And when it comes to the ammo prices they're high for what you normally would see at a show, but actually the prices are not, compared to the stores right now, the prices are pretty much on par. It isn't like you see some ammo that's, unless the guy thinks he's just got something special, he would jack the price up, but the prices were really, like, they were just on par with the store. You weren't going to find something, well, I mean, I did myself, but you weren't, unless you were really looking, you're not going to find too much deals on ammo. You're just going to have to bite it and pay basically full retail for any ammo you find. As far as now miscellaneous other things, it's a good selection of just about everything you could think of. There wasn't a whole lot of like the surplusy type things like clothing and that. It wasn't very much of that, but there was a mixture of everything, you know, your scopes, your mounts, knives. There wasn't a whole heck of a lot of knives, but there were knives and your little parts of stocks of whatever else. There was a good selection of that. So I found the show to be excellent. And the show, I won't really have a good judge of how the show was excellent actually last time I went too, but I didn't find a lot last time. But there's a different show coming up in a week, and if I make it to that one, then I'll get a better judgment of whether the shows are actually back and they're kind of booming again, but we'll see when it comes to that. But I would say the show, in my opinion, was excellent, and maybe they just had things that I was interested in that made it better. But that's just sort of a brief overview of the show itself. And what I ended up picking up, I found a couple of these. I had to pick them up. I don't have a 9 Makarov, but here's, I picked these up as Hungarian 9 Mac. It was $4, so I'm like, well, you might as well. Oh, this is the stamp from the show. But anyways, I picked up the 2 boxes of this because I'm like, you don't see it very often, and I'm like, why not have some? And if the rules change in the future, I would love to have a Makarov. And the ammunition actually is kind of neat. It's a steel case, obviously, and it's got a completely red primer on it. It's kind of neat. And looks like 1986 production, factory 21. So I picked up 2 boxes. He had 4. Like, thinking about it now, I probably should have picked up all 4, but I just really wanted them for my collection, kind of more of a curio in the collection, and they were $4 a box. Another thing I found is, I was talking about this like with my buddy, is the this style, the stamp style of sight protector from the number 4 Enfield, where it has the block in the stamp. I picked this up just because I don't have one. Like, you can see it's bent like this, and actually getting it from the guy, even though it was bent, he thought it was worth a ton of money, and I just wanted it for my collection and just to have an example of one. So I picked this one up. It's okay. I mean, it could be bent. It's just stamped steel, so it can be bent into place if it was needed for a project or whatever. But so I picked that one up because I've been sort of been looking for one, because I've been grabbing Enfield parts when I find them. Another thing is, picked up this knife, and it says edge mark on the leather here. It's got, and you can let me know or if you want this knife or not. This is like for my buddy. It's got the deer horn on here. Actually, it's a nice wide one, but then it sort of tapers here. I think, I haven't cleaned it up, I haven't touched it. If you want me to clean it up or whatever, I can do that. But it's got, I think it says Soligen Germany on there. It's just hard to read. But I haven't touched it since I got it. But actually, this is a really super cool knife. And it says something here on the blade. I don't know if it's the model or whatever. I haven't, again, I haven't touched it or cleaned it up. Nothing, I might be able to make something up here. I'm not sure if it'll show up on on camera. And it's got a number on it. But actually it's a really nice knife. Good thick quality knife. It's got jimping on here. And the handle size is a bit big for me. And so anyways, I grabbed that. If you're interested. This is what it looks like here. I'll put this away. I also grabbed a couple of these vintage 22 scopes. This one is the a Bushnell one. Both of them are clear optics. They're just your normal standard crosshair. Japanese made one, 4x15. Decent looking little scope. And the pieces on here for adjustments. It's a good little scope. Good shape and all that. I grabbed that one. And then I found this one. This is an original J.C. Higgins. It's kind of hard to read here because it's, I don't know if somebody's, it looks like somebody's painted it, but I'm not too like versed in these scopes. Like it could have had a finish like that on it that wears. I don't really know. So it looks kind of crummy, but again, the optics are perfectly clear, and it's an original J.C. Higgins. And you could see the dials here. This one's a little bit dirty, but it'll clean up. It's not like all rusted up or cruddy or anything. And that's a really nice scope. Like that's like the perfect little like vintage Kui type of scope, and you can see it's brass. That's a nice little scope, so you can take your pick there. Next, I got this pair of receivers. These are pattern 17 receivers. Now both of them have the wings, like the big huge sight thing there, the great big wings. They've been cut off of them, but actually I for the price that I got them, the bolt, and I'll show the other part in a minute because I'll show the other one. The bolt and the parts that were on here, the bolt stop and everything is on there. I was like, okay, I just want for the parts really, but I mean, if you want to make a sporter, the receiver's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with it other than the sight is gone. And then again, the bolt, the 1917 that I own, the bolt doesn't match it anyways. So there's this one, and this one is the Remington, which is, it's kind of nice to have a example of the different models anyways. It doesn't matter whether they're tapped and drilled or anything like that. I'll just go on a reference, like in a reference bin or whatever for later. So there's the Remington 1917. The serial number is actually quite low on that one. Then the other one I got is an Eddystone 17, and pretty clear there. It didn't have the bolt in it, unfortunately, but then it's got the safety, and this is the part that I was looking for. This great big huge it's got this great big huge bar in here, and then it's got it uses this weird way of locking in where it was the volley sight, and they locked it in there. It's hard to find that particular one because you can see the normal sort of style of Mauser one is just a block like this, just for reference. So I was looking for this this style here, this early style. That's what kind of drew me to them, but I'm like, might as well take them both for in a package. And then I also needed the ejector, and there's an ejector in there. So I was looking for that, and I ended up getting it, and then different receivers. So that was good. That was a good deal. And then this I've been looking for, and actually goes into my other video. I found a box of guy had he resized some 303 brass to make 6.5 by 53 Dutch, and a lot of them, well, probably about half of them, the necks have cracked on them, so really, there's also a 303 blank in there, which is nice, but they can be used just as dummy rounds or rounds for seating depth, and like you can see the crack on there, but they're actually 6.5 Dutch, and they're primed. I don't know, unfortunately they're Berdan prime, but you can find Berdan primers. They are around if you look, and they were made from this Winchester brass, 1941, and whether that would work or not, I don't know, but it doesn't really matter because it says this one's been cracked. And so anyways, I've got a little quantity of brass, so I should be able to at least test that gun out. And I actually have bullets. I got bullets at an auction not too long ago that will be suitable for the 6.5 Dutch, so I can make a couple little light loads just to test the gun out and see how it functions. But yeah, so I got a couple things that he can decide on whether he is interested. I got the little J.C. Higgins scope and the Bushnell scope. They have the little mount on them, which are really nice vintage scopes. And the guy had quite a few different scopes. He had a really nice one. It was just like a straight tube, and it had two tiny little knobs on it, but he wanted $80 for that one, so it could have been worth it. I don't know, because I don't know enough about these little vintage scopes, but these are two decent ones, and I'm on the lookout for these little scopes whenever I see them. I think they're probably totally underrated as scopes, because you see a million Kuis out there, and these things are made for Kuis pretty much. So I mean, why not keep them together? But anyways, there's those, and then I got this knife here too, which is a really decent like belt knife, and it's got the big sweep on it there, so it it can be for skinning, it can be for hunting, it can be an all-purpose knife really, but it is quite dull. It is quite dull too. There's nothing much to it, but anyway, so here it is. So other than that, I'll probably do another gun show update review next weekend, if I'm hopefully make it to the show then. And there was nothing I passed over in the show that I regret. There was a box of Dominion, really old Dominion 6.5 Mannlicher Schroner, and the guy was asking $50, and actually I kind of regret it now. I should have grabbed it if I didn't already have, like, I've got I think 4 boxes of it here, but I should have grabbed it maybe. But anyways, didn't want this video to go on too long, but this is my sort of gun show update. This is in Canada, not the United States, so just thought I would make that clear. So thank you for watching.